they should ban out the Meepo in the end of the last game.
Yeah.
Broodmother, I'm not entirely convinced that that was really a problem for them. It was forcing some heroes to always be where the Broodmother was, and who knows, that might have just dictated their positioning for the most part, and maybe that was the thing that was going on that's very hard to see from where we are sitting right now. But either way, this is pure respect bans from both sides. The IO Beastmaster, again, very denial heroes. Gonna leave Venomancer in the pool this time, and I wouldn't be surprised to see denial grab that one. But then, of course, the Padrinho and Wii bans on the denial side. This is going to mean that both teams a little bit further out of their, I guess, comfort zone. But
yeah,
we had a lot of people in the chat saying we should probably ban Meepo and Sniper against him. Been seeing a lot of Sniper play recently, and I gotta say, this new Shrapnel is really impressing me. I didn't think it would make much of a difference, but it is.
Yeah, it does quite a bit of damage with the extra couple charges. Of course, not the best for pushing structures as it used to be, but that was a little broken in its own right, and it's probably a more effective ability overall. I'd have to agree with you on that front, but Hockey's Tidehunter is going to be picked up first here for BBC, so something that Denial was able to pick up last game. They're going to grab that up for themselves, being as they won't have the Broodmother in this game either way. So very strong hero from them early on. Very strong first pick on the Dire side as well from Denial. They're going to pick up the Brewmaster here, so that will probably be force Aksha towards the mid lane, and they could play it on Joral sometimes in the offlane, but Funzy and Joral currently not here for Denial, so they are working with two stand-ins. Of course, BBC is working with one, and they'll pair up the Tide with the Skywrath thus far. So Skywrath often considered a counter to the Brew with that max 6 level instant cast silence offered by Ancient Seal.
Well, for BBC, that you said one stand in Yapzor, I was pretty impressed by the Sand King's ability to get farm in the last game, and not only that, he actually used his Blink Dagger well, set up for a couple of Epicenters.
Yep.
Maybe not as ideal because he was up against a Shadow Demon, and Disruption's really good against Epicenter, but you actually can't do anything about that as Sand King, except for actually hit the Shadow Demon, and that's sometimes just not possible. For Denial, their stand-ins, I really don't think they had enough time to show if they were really capable of doing what they're supposed to. Like Matrice, by the time he was needed, it was like all too late, and he needed like a whole bunch more gold, but he was already free farming. It was probably impossible for him to be farming any faster, so it's going to be rough times for Denial. They're going to grab the Jakiro though, partnered along with the Brewmaster, maybe looking to go for a little bit more of a pushing route in this here game number 2. And well, if it is going to be a simple Brewmaster mid, Jakiro probably as a core off lane, safe lane, it's a solid way to go. And right now they have two really tanky heroes, and BBC, maybe they're going to go for a Sand King again to partner up with the Skywrath Mage, but either way they'll have a couple of answers to deal with what Denial have right now.
Yeah, certainly so. Definitely interesting to see how Innocent fares, as you mentioned. We wanted to see what he would do on that Tidehunter. Really just one good Ravage, one bad Ravage. There was one Ravage where Weehaw and Padrino overextended a bit to try and find Paris's puck. And then the other Ravage where Weehaw was able to use some excellent micro to survive. And they really only caught him and Padrino in that second Ravage. And then Creo J was taken down on the high ground, and the entire engagement went awry for Denial, and that was the GG ending one. So the VODs will be up soon if you guys did miss game 1 here. But Denial is going to pick up that Vino for perhaps fucking mad. Perhaps they look to put it in a core role for Paris. And that was something that BBC banned out in the first game, but they will pick up both the Slark, who deals pretty well with dots, of course, with the Dark Pack, and the Vengeful Spirit, who's just a very strong support all around, offers help with Roche, with the Wave of Terror, extra physical damage, extra damage from the Vengeful Aura, and of course the Disable, and even the swap for positioning. So Skywrath, Vengeful, pretty strong laning and roaming duo for BBC.
Yeah, they go together in the lore, and they go together in-game as well. For Denial, though, they're going to go for a Bounty Hunter. And from what I've seen of Bounty Hunters, well, I've only seen Bounty Hunters that are massively successful so far. I don't know that's because the hero's imbalanced or anything like that. I'm not going to say that. But so far, just having the potential for track on everyone on the enemy side with that ridiculous amount of gold that it does give is a great way of accelerating your team into a push. And Venomancer and Jakiro, they're heroes that could capitalize very heavily off of the track.
Yeah.
Maybe the kill potential on Denial is a little bit less than they would really like right now, but if they pick up a very high damage last hero, if they run a 4-position roaming bounty hunter with support Venomancer. They will have to juggle the traditional roles of these heroes around just a little bit, but they can make it happen, certainly, when you have Skywrath Mage and Vengeful Spirit as potential targets.
Yeah, they do lack a little bit of burst. I have to agree with you on that front. They can use that, certainly, to bring down these track targets, as you mentioned. There's a 4-second cooldown on track now, and heroes like Jakiro and Venomancer really do benefit from item pickups, especially in the Blink Eggs from the Vino, the Yules, from the Jakiro. So they will be certainly hard-pressed to find those without a little bit of burst from this 5th pick. And speaking of which, they'll take out the Necrolite, and they will pick up the Sniper for Weehaw in the mid lane. So will be interesting to see how he's able to utilize this up against the lineup of Denial. They do have ways to deal with this Sniper here. If they catch him out with an Ice Path or a Blink Clap, or even the initiation from the Bounty Hunter with the Janata, they're going to be a little bit worried here for Weehaw here. They're going to have defensive supports in the Venge to help him out, as well as the counter initiation from the Tidehunter, and even the Ancient Seal instant cast silence there. But if Weehaw is left alone, he should be pretty susceptible to most of these ganks. And they'll pick up the Abaddon to round out the lineup from Denial here. So a bit of a precarious pick here. I'm a little bit confused as to that one, but Creo J going to pick that up. So we will see perhaps a core Bounty Hunter, maybe even a core Jakiro here. What are your thoughts on that Abaddon pick?
Well, because they don't have inherently the highest burst damage heroes, these heroes are all capable of doing quite a lot of damage, but it's more slow, methodical.
Yeah.
This is going to put more and more emphasis on the track gold for the Bounty Hunter. Like, they are going to have to get a lot of kills early on just to overcome the fact that they don't have burst to deal with the Slark, and they don't really have that many ways of dealing with the Sniper. Post Blink Dagger, Brewmaster will be just fine. Maybe the track movement speed bonus is going to be just as good in order to catch up and keep in the Sniper's face. But for Denial, they're very much so on the pushing aggressive train, except they're missing, I feel like, just one crucial piece of this puzzle. I can't really put my name on it, but my finger on it, but I'm pretty sure it's just lack of burst. They had a hero that would be able to just, you know, jump in and lock someone down. I would like a Bat Rider even as the last pick for Denial, just to get those initiations off. Something along those lines. It could have been a lot better for them, but the draft from BBC is a lot easier to pull off. They have Tidehunter as Ravage backup. Wee's going to be going towards the mid lane, where he'll be having a pretty decent lane matchup pretty much no matter what. BBC have a lot of safety, whereas Denial, they have to get these kills off. If they sit back, if the Bounty Hunter doesn't get off the ground with his tracks, then Denial are just going to eventually fall behind, and the Sniper and Slark are going to run them over late game.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a Visage here. It's a pretty tanky support. The Soul Deception you can hit from quite a ways away. The Visage Familiars also give you a little bit of a scouting mechanic with the clear vision, but either way, they'll pick up the Abaddon. So Denial going to opt for that little bit of defensive, and as you mentioned, methodical chunking down the lineup of BBC. But either way, we'll introduce the lineups. I'll take Denial on the Dire side. Creo J picking up the Abaddon, going towards what is perhaps a dual off lane at this point, accompanied by Innocent on the Jakiro. In the mid lane, we will see Paris picking up the Brewmaster here, and towards the safe lane, we'll have Matrice, the 1-position Venomancer with fucking Mad on the Bounty Hunter.
And for BBC, Hockey's going to be playing the top lane Tide. He does have Magic Stick first, and that is something I've been seeing a lot more, and I don't really know if that's a build that I like. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Wee's going to be playing the mid lane Sniper with Padrinho on the Slark, Solitude on the Vengeful Spirit, and Yapzor on the Skywrath Mage. So Hockey picking the Magic Stick up at level 1. It's 200 gold. That's a Ring of Protection if you want it. It is sometimes going to be the best item in the game. It's sometimes going to be absolutely useless. Maybe he had a good read that it was going to be a Venomancer Bounty Hunter lane up here, but really, even if it's a Venomancer, he's not really going to be spamming Plague Wards until much later in the game, and seeing the Magic Stick on the other end, he might just not spam those Plague Wards at all. So this might be a dead Magic Stick with only 1-2 charges max for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an odd choice. I'm going to have to agree on that front. He will throw an Anchor Smash into the face of fucking Mad at the time, and he probably should be able to accrue a couple of charges, but I feel like against the physical damage, as you mentioned, Plague Wards usually not dropped until they're a little bit stronger, as level 1 Plague Wards are pretty underwhelming, and you will see already the Orb effect skilled up by Matrice here, so Magic Stick not going to do much versus that, especially as a Ring of Protection or a Stout Shield would have, as you mentioned. Either way, Yapzor and Padrinho should have a pretty good time in this safe lane. They are up against Innocent as well as Creo J, so they do have the Aphotic Shield to worry about, so they may not have kill potential, but they should farm just fine on the Slark.
Abaddon and Jakiro, the way that this lane is supposed to work is that it actually just doesn't do anything. Like, actually, it just doesn't do anything until you get much higher levels. Then you could slowly push out the towers with Dual Breath and with Liquid Fire, and you'll be able to get something done then. But for the early stages, they're just going to keep themselves safe. Jakiro being naturally tanky, Abaddon being decently tanky, but he, of course, has his kit just to help him survive. So they're just going to get what they can, and this is probably BBC's best chance at getting kills in this bottom lane, though that is pretty difficult. They're just fine, BBC, with letting the status quo sit on the bottom lane, because this means Padrinho is going to be getting a lot of farm. Might be a Midas game for the Slark, and if that's going to happen, then really the late game for Denial is going to be even worse than it already is going to be. Up towards the top lane, actually, we see Matrice played the Phantom Assassin last game. Fucking Mad is going to be taking the Bounty Hunter. He's currently in the, quote-unquote core role of farm, but this is a pretty standard Denial move. They're going to swap the Venomancer over to this lane at one point. Last game, Denial did this at level 5. I don't know if that's exactly what they want to do this game, but something along those lines should be the goal. And bottom lane, long pounce onto Innocent. He's going to get shielded, but that does not block that tether. And he's going to take a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, Solitude is way too far away, so no kill on bottom.
Yeah, interesting mechanic. Photic Shield does purge a lot of debuffs off, but the leash from the pounce there persisting through it. Either way, they're not going to be able to have too much kill potential there without the Vengeful being able to rotate in for that magic missile. And top lane, Hockey going to take quite a bit of harass here. He's been slowed with the Gale as well as the Orb of Venom from fucking Mad here. But rotations in from Paris. They will be able to clap him. He'll look to TP out in their face, but the Shuriken going to cancel that. And they will find first blood onto Hockey. He's found quite a bit, though, in this offlane. Already level 3 on the Tide Hunter. So they do feed over the first blood gold, and that is to, I believe, fucking Mad on the Bounty Hunter. But either way, Weehaw still farming in the mid lane. Paris did have a haste, so didn't lose out on too much farm and should be able to get back for a couple of these last hits here.
Man, Haste Rune is so broken. Like, could you take that rune as anyone and just dive in for that kill? And it would have been a kill on the Tide Hunter anyway, so this is just a decent start for Denial. It's going to give Bounty Hunter crucially more experience. The gold is also nice. It's the experience that he really wants, and maybe off of that he's going to just give away the lane to Matrice. This Venomancer Tide Hunter matchup is just as good for the Tide Hunter, slightly worse I'd say, but very, very slight. And fucking Mad, now he's going to look for aggression all around the map. Without track it'll be a little difficult, but he will close in for Paris to land that clap, and with another crit, Sniper's going to fall. The level 3 roaming Bounty Hunter, you certainly don't expect it, but simple, slow, just to let Paris get a little bit closer, and Sniper really doesn't have any options at that point.
Yeah, real utility build here from fucking Mad so far. 1-1-1 on the Bounty Hunter. He'll pick up his second point in Shadow Walk now, so it does have quite a bit of duration and great uptime there. He may even find a courier if he runs into it and is so lucky here, but it will drop off the items underneath the tree line, so he should be just fine there. But it is rotating back over the trees now. One Janata strike. Fucking Mad gonna find 175 gold for him and his comrades here, and that's a really nice influx of gold, and thus far extremely successful on the roaming bounty hunter. He's picked up his level 5 and now has 2 levels in that Shuriken, so nice nuke of 200 damage there available to him. He will rotate back towards the mid lane, and perhaps Weehaw needs to be a little worried here about aggressing forward.
And this is pretty much as good as it gets for roaming bounty hunters. Until he's level 6, he can get even more done, but that's still a little ways away. Over towards mid, Wee does have a sentry, so we will know sometimes when the bounty hunter is in the area, but not all the time. But towards top lane, when Matrice is in a lot of trouble, Magic Missile is going to kill him off in a hurry. Hockey taking a little bit of poison damage, but he has 6 stick charges and a salve will be just fine. I just like to quickly point out how messed up Shuriken Toss's scaling is. It makes absolutely no sense, and I don't know what the build is for fucking Mad in this game, but maybe he just wants to max out that Shuriken Toss, because getting up to 325 total is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, maybe it's just going to be a little bit more Janata.
Yeah, I really do opt for the max Shuriken build most often, and a lot of players will do that, as Shadow Dance level 1 is quite a value point at this point. But yeah, as you mentioned, level 1 to 2 Shuriken Toss is a huge upgrade, whereas level 2 to 3 and even 3 to 4 are pretty poop in terms of relative. But either way, he's gonna pop a Shadow Dance here. Maybe wait for this Shuriken Toss mana here, and we'll just look to sit on Hockey for the time being. Meanwhile, Padrinho taking quite a bit of harass bot lane. He's almost picked up the Shadow Dance here, so he's not too worried about dying off. They will need to rotate one more in to bring him down, presumably, as the Abaddon and Jakiro do lack some lockdown, I should say, without the Ice Path being built into by Innocent.
is mine.
Well, right now, Padrino is actually really scared, so though there is no kill potential here for Denial, it seems like Slark didn't get that memo, and Brewmaster, of course, is going to find another haste rune. Casually, you're going to grab the most broken rune in the game, and he also does have his split available. He's going to charge forward in the mid lane, because why the hell not? There is sentry coverage on the mid and top lanes, but these supports for BBC, they're not actively helping out the Slark right now, and they really can't get a kill on Paris. That's not going to happen unless you somehow land an assassinate with an Ancient Seal, and well, they don't even have Ancient Seal, so it's definitely not going to happen. These supports for BBC that they have roamed up to the top lane successfully, really they're costing Padrino a lot of control in this bottom lane. He's getting levels for sure, but right now Sniper's not doing fantastically, Hockey's doing okay. The lanes in Denial definitely a lot better for them, and it's probably due in part because of the courier snipe from fucking Mad, and of course the mid lane kill as well. This roaming bounty hunter slowed down for now, but it's very close to level 6.
Yeah, the courier has really been a detriment to the plans of BBC thus far. Bottle has been sitting in the stash for Weehaw for quite a bit now, and the top 4 on the net worth chart have been taken here by Denial, but I mean at this point in the game it's somewhat negligible. Either way, they will rotate the supports behind Weehaw, so we're looking for another rotation in from this bounty hunter, but they won't catch him out here. He's going to look bottom lane for Padrino, who has finally picked up his level 6 and is benefiting from that Shadow Dance passive, but he's now going to be scouted out and should see that buff drop, and he will turn tail. And so good awareness by Padrino to back off as soon as he sees that disabled there. And that is certainly one way to know when this bounty hunter is rotating in. And Weehaw will find some space mid lane. Also, the courier now respawning here, so he should be able to bring over a couple items for himself. Smoked up top lane is Yapzor as well as Solitude, but this will leave Padrino vulnerable bot lane. He'll get hit with the dual breath as well as the mist coil. We'll just back off into the tree line and look to regen up here and should be just fine.
Invisibility.
Now they're not going to be able to kill off this Slark convincingly with only 3 heroes. They are going to need a Brewmaster and or a Venomancer if they actually want to bring him down. They're going to think about bringing the Brew in, but he's instead going to change his mind, go for Wii once again. Padrino is perfectly safe in this bottom lane because this dual lane for Denial is not deadly at all, but Wii is in so much trouble right now. He is maybe stepping a little bit too far. He has to be hugging his tower, go into the corner, and hide there. Matrice is going to spot him out. Paris is closing the distance. Wee's going to fight to the death. Matrice might be going down before Wii, and it looks like he will. Wii, though, is literally has nowhere to go, so he's going to be going down as well. Hockey's going to come in, as is Solitude. Fucking Mad's here, but he can't really do that much. Hockey's just waiting for a Ravage opportunity. He's not going to find it. It's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade over in the mid lane, but as Sniper, you can't really do much about that. You are as defensively positioned as possible, yet you're still very easily going to die.
Yeah, the Gale actually whiffed there, so nice dodge by Weehaw, and that's pretty much what allowed him to survive for as long as he did. So they do bait out a split there. He does get a solo kill, I think. I don't think the TP rotation was there in time to soak experience off that, so not bad for Weehaw. They will track up Padrino here, though, and that's a nice mechanic against the Shadow Dance. Giving vision there. Weehaw TPing in behind the trees though, and Padrino not looking to allow them to scout him out. He does Dark Pact off that track now, so we'll be able to reinitiate here, but fucking Mad postured up pretty aggressively here. There is a Dire Ward as well to help him look for people rotating in, but he won't find a courier this time, and we'll have to rotate back out. Is sitting on level 6 now, so hasn't made too much progression since picking up that track here, but still been pretty effective thus far on the roaming BH.
Well, Denial are still getting more and more ahead in the last hit department. Wii has gone to the bottom lane for some reason, but he's not doing anything there. If you look at the net worth, it's just dominated by Denial heroes. Wii stuck in the middle of there, but Tidehunter not getting that much, Slark getting not much at all because he just simply can't get close enough to the creep wave to last hit effectively. He's not even going for a Midas. I think this is definitely a Midas game for Slark, or it definitely should have been a Midas game for Slark given his farm status. It would have been late, but it would have guaranteed him some items eventually. Right now, Denial have control of this game, and it'll get even worse for BBC in just 50 gold. Brewmaster's very close to his blink, and fucking Mad with double damage. He's going to try to go for Wii. Has backup in the form of Solitude. There's a nice headshot to set up for maybe Solitude to get close enough, but fucking Mad is mad fast, and he's going to get out of there, or at least hide there. He's still technically in sentry range, so if they somehow... No, that's not going to happen. Fucking Mad's going to be just fine. Magic Missile still, as always, a little bit too far out of range.
Yeah, definitely one of the setbacks of that hero for sure is the range of Magic Missile as well as the attack range for Venge. Fucking Mad gonna get spotted here though. There's the headshot or the assassinate and it will finish him off. But the Primal Split is committed here mid. Magic Missile goes out onto the Fire Bruling, but he is tracked up is Weehaw and he should be able to be brought down here by these Brulings. He's ticking down and he will get cleaned up to a boulder toss. So once again, Primal Split committed for Weehaw. And certainly worth doing so for Paris. He's also picked up his Blink Dagger, so looks like it was a Blink Clap initiation there. Didn't quite catch the initiation, but either way. Weehaw once again falling down, and he was the highest net worth target on BBC. Padrino really needs to recover in this bot lane, as you mentioned, playing very scared earlier on, and he's only got 2,700 net worth at this point, sitting 300 below Hockey's offlane Tidehunter at this point.
Hockey's offlane Tidehunter in the meantime did get a kill on Venomancer up towards the top lane. Veno was pushing that one out just a little bit too far, got caught with the Ravage, and at that point there's not really that much you could do. So it is going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of BBC, although I don't really know if that's really the trade that they're going to be so happy with. It's a trade that is still going to be benefiting them, and they don't really have many options as to what trades they can take. They are now working with the Mystic Flare. Yapzor has been playing a very hands-off role as the Skarath Mage. He's been trying to do stuff, but just hasn't really found the openings for it. A Magic Missile into a Mystic Flare is a great way of just getting a couple more kills, buying more space at the very least for your Sniper and Slark to slowly start to recover. So maybe the Skarath Mage is going to start to step things up now.
Certainly a possibility with the ultimate in tow. And is now level 7, is also working towards that Force Staff and is well on his way there. But Padrino bot lane, no, just the Jakiro Abaddon. They're not going to have too much skill potential. They track up Hockey here, farming the Ancients, but they are going to have to rotate in Paris, and he doesn't even have enough mana for a clap, but it will be enough to back off Hockey for the time being. He should be able to clean up these Ancients, though. And Mystic Flare, Ancient Seal, there's the Assassinate. Don't finish off Matrice. So, as you mentioned, Yaps are getting immediately involved with that ultimate. And Solitude is going to secure the farm for Hockey by these Ancients as fucking Mad rotates around the secret shop area. He won't be able to get much done. And since those first two early kills, fucking Mad sitting on level 6 for quite a ways now. Taking a look at the hero levels, he's right at the bottom. So the roaming BH.
Courier, though. This is a free courier for him, right? I think?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's lagging a little behind. He's going to be just fine. They also cannot contest the bottom lane Ancients. That was just a poor series of events for Denial. I mean, Innocent and Cryo, they're still in the bottom lane, and they're going to have to now mess with the Padrino. Actually, Cryo's dropping very low voluntarily. He does not have his ultimate up? What? Why doesn't he have his ultimate up? That's not right. Innocent also going to hit with the Magic Missile. Padrino doesn't have a Shadow Dance. He's going to have to run away. This Liquid Fire might just kill him. He's going to try to juke into the trees, get a little bit of Shadow Dance regen. He will have just enough. Turning around for a pounce as well will be lethal for Innocent. That'll be 2 kills, but a clap is going to make it a 2-for-1 from the Brewmaster. But still, not really sure why Abaddon didn't have his ultimate there. There was no one on the bottom lane for a very long time. Either way, BBC now with a slight kill lead. Definitely making a decent recovery back into this game. And again, they're not that far behind right now. It's only a 25-ish lead for Denial in the gold. And now BBC, they're ahead in experience. So Denial have to be a lot more ahead than they are right now. But they're going to initiate over towards mid. Silence immediately onto Paris. They're going to try to chase the ground with the Assassinate, doing a lot of damage. But we sticking around for a little bit too long. He is scaled up. He has Ravage's backup. He's going to straight TP out to the base, and he will be just fine. Paris, in the meantime, with the 3rd haste rune of the game. Are you kidding me, Paris? That's ridiculous. He's going to escape, but his ally is not as lucky. They're going to get a tier 1 tower in exchange, but that's a 2-for-0 for BBC.
Yeah, as you were speaking there, I saw him pick that up at the bot river, and I figured, oh, here we go again. They might find a really nice engagement off that one, but good awareness by Weehaw with the TP out. Hockey coming in with the counter initiation from the Ravage, and they do find Matrice there. I believe that was the only casualty in that engagement, but either way, Weehaw surviving is good. They did bring down fucking Mad earlier, so excuse me on that one. 2-for-0 going the way of BBC, and now they're climbing back up the net worth chart. Padrino looks like he's going to pick up a set of drums for himself. Here is still a robe of Magi off that, so about 200 gold away from that, but that'll be a nice pickup for him. Will allow him to be a little bit more relevant in this mid game, and he is encroaching upon that level 11 with that level 2 Shadow Dance in tow.
And this is a fine build for Padrino. He knows that he's going to have to fight early and often, and this is the exact type of build that you want if you're going to be going for that. Yapstor over towards top is going to get double critted in a row by Paris. Are you kidding me? My god, that Skarath Mage, what armor? Still 0 base armor. He has no agility or anything like that in his inventory, so that did a hell of a lot of damage, and Skarath Mage like, not much that you can do except for not be there. It's unfortunate for him, but Denial are going to take the opportunity to kill off that hero and also the final tier 1 tower on the enemy side of the map, whereas BBC, they have yet to claim a tower of their own. The shrapnel nerf kind of hitting them in that regard, but their plan really isn't to take towers. Their plan is to just turtle up and try to just outlast Denial's heroes, and it's so far working out okay, but maybe not for much longer, because fucking Mad's down towards bottom, gonna find Solitude, get tagged with a magic missile. There is no dust here, only a random sentry, so killing off this bounty is going to be very tough, and they also have to watch out for this courier. Don't give fucking Mad these opportunities, BBC. That's not a good idea. They'll be fine. That's actually a dust delivery. They're going to pop a drum charge, looking for fucking Mad, but he has phase boots as well. This bounty hunter is pretty darn fast, and he also has backup incoming. That's unfortunately a waste for BBC, and Paris is also coming around. Killing off this Slark is, well, that's definitely not going to happen when you don't even go for him. Solitude's going to straight TP out, Shuriken going to follow him back to the base, but everyone from BBC is going to be just fine.
Yeah, a little bit of a questionable blink from Paris there, and doesn't look quite as flashy without his haste rune in hand, but either way, Padrino going to be able to scurry away on the Slark, and as you mentioned, the TP out came out from the Vengeful as well. Fucking Mad not going to be able to find much here. He may run into some trouble with Yapsor available with this Ancient Seal. They will dust him up. There's the Ancient Seal. Gush is there too. Anchor Smash. Mystic Flare even committed. Not needed, but they'll bring down that pesky Bounty Hunter. And you can see how frustrating he's been as they drop their entire load to kill him off here. But yeah, still level 7, almost level 8 now on the bounty. But taking a look at the hero levels right at the bottom with Abaddon there, even surpassed so far slightly by Solitude's Vengeful Spirit.
And though the bounty hunter did help out a lot early on, killing off the courier, killing off the sniper in the mid lane, since then he actually hasn't done anything. I don't think there's been a single track kill in this game.
Yeah.
And this is exactly not what Denial want. Their whole game plan is pretty much revolving around getting the acceleration by killing off towers and killing off heroes to get the extra gold that both of those things give, and then snowball all the way into the tier 2s, all the way into Roshan, then into the tier 3s. If you're not going to get the track kills, that's a huge piece of the puzzle that they're just not going to have to work with. And of course, it is not too late for them to eventually start getting some of these track kills, and maybe they're going to start down on the bottom lane, but I mean, this is not good for Denial. The Bounty Hunter should have at least one by now. They're going to try to chase forward for Padrino. The chances of this actually working out are so slim. They should instead go for Wii. That's a much easier kill. Here comes a Ravage, going to connect onto 3 heroes. Paris also going to get a full-on Mystic Flare. He's still silenced. He will get the split out with 79 HP left. Padrino dropping pretty low, but he still has Shout Dance, will make it out alive. It's going to be Yapsor to take most of the damage right now. Force Staff out will keep him safe, while Innocent dropping very low. Force Staff every which way as Padrino is going to jump himself out of here. Hockey in the front lines just to mess with the enemies. Wii, does he have another Assassinate? You bet he does, but he's up in the air. That storm aspect being so annoying. Solitude looking to close in. I don't think this wave is lethal on no one, but this Assassinate sure as hell is. But he will blink out of range, but not out of range of Padrino. Pounced up, Paris now going to get Gush. That will be Paris' death eventually, if nothing else, by the Assassinate. Padrino still can't get the kill, but he will get it in the end. Hockey's still on the front lines, forcing away Cryo. Innocent in the meantime is going to try to chase forward for the Slark, but will get picked off in the process. Padrino's still alive. He's finally going to go down, but Wii is firing off so many shots in the meantime, dropping very low himself. He's probably going to go down here, but it won't be for naught. He's going to get a triple kill before he dies. Patrice is going to force Staff down to the low ground, will be just fine, but BBC, after all is said and done, take a massively one team fight, baiting Denial in slowly but surely. And I think Bounty Hunter got one track kill there, maybe. That was not good enough. BBC take that fight handily.
Yeah, the start of the engagement, Padrino was able to Dark Pact off that Yules just before the Ice Path came down, and he was able to scurry her away, and then they found a very nice re-engagement there. Unfortunately, the split did get off for Denial, so if that wasn't the case, things would have went really poorly for them, but either way, looks like it says 4 for 2 on the team fight recap, but fucking Mad went down twice there, and wasn't able to return to the fight later and pick off Padrino with that Shuriken, so really 5 for 2 going the way of BBC, and we will see a Blade of Alacrity picked up for Padrino. So do you expect an S and Y here? I mean, we could see something like a Diffusal, but I guess that's really uncommon for the Slark.
Yeah, going for a Yasha just casually seems pretty good. Manta style would not be a terrible item in this game for the Slark. Pretty much no matter what, it's a cost-effective way of increasing his stats, very similar to the drums, and he's going to need it because he's got to fight. Speaking of, fight mid lane, Wii is going to have a BKB this time to pop. He gets swapped out as well. Paris silenced up still will be just fine. He has a split available if he really needs it. Assassinate will drop Paris low, but it's actually fucking Mad to take most of the heat. The shrapnel is there. Anchor Smash blind. Hockey will not connect, and everyone from Denial still going to be alive for now, but maybe not for much longer. Hockey going to force a split out from Brewmaster. Gets double force out up to the high ground. They cannot afford to give chase. Denial, they don't end up killing anyone. which is not terrible, but they're actually going to lose fucking Mad. Padrino coming in from the side is going to assassinate one. Now going on to Cryo. Orb of Venom plus Padrino's movement speed. You can't really escape assassinate. It's going to fire. There it is. Headshot. For Sniper will claim yet another kill. Now they're going to chase forward, looking for more. Padrino, his way is blocked by a Plague Ward, but he's not going to care because he has drum charges, movement speed, and a whole bunch of just fast movement speed with the pounce. He's going to jump forward with the Ravage in tow. That's going to be 2 more kills for Padrino. Hockey setting them both up for the Slark. Everyone on BBC gets to live in Denial. If they don't get any kills with a split, that is a massive failure. That is not something that they should be happy with.
Yeah, and once again, super unfortunate timing. One last projectile procs off that borrowed time for the Abaddon there, and then Padrino able to reinitiate on Creo J when it's down. He'll pick him off and the Jakiro, and meanwhile the Mystic Flare picks off the Brewmaster top with the help of Weehaw there. So that's a huge kill. Paris really the only one keeping up in farm for Denial here, and you're taking a look at the net worth and it's absolutely dominated at this point. The Jakiro is 4th overall. As Padrino picks off fucking Mad, the Bounty Hunter bot lane. But overall, that Jakiro not as, I mean, it's really not as influential as a Tide Hunter with the same net worth. And of course, they have the Slark and the Weehaw topping things off on the net worth. So things, despite looking decent early on for Denial, once again have snowballed out of control mid-game.
Yeah, this is looking so extremely bad for Denial. This is supposed to be their time. 20 minutes in, when the Bounty Hunter has level 1, close to level 2 track, they're going to be working with the Venomancer at that time, a Jakiro and a Brewmaster. These are all powerhouse heroes for 20 minutes into the game, yet it just doesn't seem like it because they don't have the right amount of crowd control. If they had a Vengeful Spirit on their team, if they had an Ogre Magi or something like that, then it'll be just so much easier for Denial to make these kills stick, especially on the Slark, which has been a thorn in the Denial side for this entire game. And speaking of, he's going to hunt down for Matrice. This is such a dead Venomancer right now. He doesn't even have a TP. He has a Force Staff, so maybe he gets somewhere inaccessible. But Padrino is going to make short work of the Venomancer, losing the Scarith Mage in the meantime. Acceptable trade from BBC. Denial might have gotten a track kill off of that. It looks like they did. So it's a nice little gain for them, and they're going to look for more in the mid lane. They know that they can't afford to stop right now, because if they do, they will lose the game. And they might get a pick off on Wee, but Solitude's right behind him. There's a swap out if Wee actually needs it, but he doesn't because he has a BKB. Solitude now is actually in more trouble up on the high ground. Where the hell are the BBC heroes? Tide Hunter is 25 seconds off Ravage. Solitude fighting to the death, but in the meantime, Assassin and fucking Mad will kill him off, making a 1-for-1 trade overall. Here comes Padrino, starting forward with the pack active. He's going to find Cryo and Innocent both behind the tree line. Shrapnel's going to give 100% vision, and Cryo is going to try to TP out, and it looks like he will be just fine to do so. Innocent, though, not as lucky. That's going to be 2 more kills going the way of BBC, and a Lightning Hammer for the Sniper. This is getting really out of hand for Denial really quickly. They needed to get so much more happening before this time in order to actually stand a chance in this game.
Yeah, full SNY completed by Padrino as well. He's getting scarier and scarier on the Slark. Has picked up his level 16, and Weehaw is encroaching on that 3rd ultimate as well, which is going to be very nice with that 3,000 range assassinate now. Also higher nuke damage, of course, as well. So things looking really good for BBC. They just Ancient Seal up onto the Brewmaster, though. The Ravage is going to land on 2. Creo J is going to get popped on. His borrowed time is down. Paris trying to TP out. Mystic Flare will be there, though, and they'll bring down the Brewmaster and get a tier 1 off of this. Something I was going to mention, that engagement 2 fights ago in mid lane did look good for Denial, but they just weren't expecting the BKB there, as fucking Mad is going to get scouted out. Swap back. Very nice play from Solitude. He'll get the magic missile off. They'll finish off fucking Mad as well. And this is looking once again to be GG territory around the 23-minute mark. 24.5 minutes in. 20-7 to 10 is your score for BBC. And yeah, Weehaw's BKB, I feel like it really put a wrench into the ability of Denial to kill him off. And he's been too tanky in these engagements, been able to stay up and do a lot of work with those shrapnel charges as well. Just his right clicks and even the assassinate picking off a few kills.
Usually BKB for Sniper isn't as effective as it has been, just because, yeah, he may be magic immune, but you could just right-click him and he'll still die. This game, Denial just don't have the right amount of right-click damage, and they're just falling short every single time, and they know about it too. So Sniper, once he pops his BKB, is taking actually no damage, because Denial are not even going to bother trying to get to him with the limited amount of right-click damage that they have. So Denial almost being tripled up as far as kill score is concerned. If it was going the other way, I would still say BBC have a chance of coming back in this game, but for right now, Denial, I don't even know what they can do about this game right now. Maybe the Venomancer Aghanim ultimate is going to help them win a team fight or something like that, but as far as coming back into this game and actually ending it for Denial, and it's something that they have to do really quickly, that's not going to happen in a very long time, and it's not looking good for them at all, especially with a fight brewing. Fucking Mad loses invisibility. Is there dust? There's no true sight. Okay, guys, you gotta pick up true sight. That's still something you have to do.
Yeah, it's easy kills, really. He's only level 10 on fucking Mad, 777 HP at this point. He's going for a Yule Scepter, so pretty defensive build from him, and it will be able to be purged off by the Slark as well. So I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this pickup either way. He'll get a track off, he'll get swapped back, but not into range of True Sight, as you mentioned. No sentry down. It was down earlier on, but he will be able to place a pretty offensive ward. Actually, probably placed in one of the team fight engagements pretty deep here on the Radiant side. Fucking Mad gonna get assassinated mid lane. That's 3/4 of his health. Jump in, anchor smash, gush from Hockey. They'll pick off fucking Mad with relative ease. And Paris was looking to rotate in with an invisibility rune and a blink clap split, but without his bounty hunter here, I'm not sure that he wants to look to engage. They are pushing bot lane with the Jakiro and the Abaddon postured up pretty defensively from CryoJ, but TP's in from both Weehaw, and he's going to pop that Mask of Madness. He's bringing down Innocent real quick with the Wave of Terror. He'll have to Yules up defensively. He should be dropped here. They won't be able to bring down CryoJ as he TP's out, but they'll get the Jakiro for free, and that was the highest net worth target on the side of Denial, going down extremely quickly in the bot lane.
It almost seems like the Jakiro didn't realize he was getting hit, because by the time he realized, he's like, oh shit, I'm already dead. And obviously the Abaddon didn't realize either, or else he would have dumped all of his healing into the Jakiro. Yeah. But with the Mask of Madness Lightning Hammer with perma headshot, you can't escape from that. That's just not gonna happen. So Denial get severely caught off guard, and we just punishing them left, right, and center. Fucking Mad stalking the sniper. Really, even if BBC don't have True Sight, and actually they do, they have a gem on the Yapzor, they don't even need it. They could essentially ignore this bounty hunter right now. Track is a great way of coming back into the game, but only when you actually have kill potential on your team, and the Yapzor actually has enough kill potential to solo kill fucking Mad. It is possible for him to do that right now, assuming the Mystic Flare is going to hit for any time at all. That will set up for the assassinate, and fucking Mad has got to be so careful. He should know, I think, that Yapzor has a gem. I think he spotted that out, and we'll find the initiation on Denial's terms, though. Paris is going to get silent, start things off. Blink, Ravage into Mystic Flare. Paris is down, no split available. In the meantime, Wee is going to take out one, now popping the BKB. Getting hit with the ultimate of the Venomancer, dropping very low himself, nor BKB to cover him. He will be going down in the end, making it 2-for-1 in favor of BBC, but Solitude's still being chased down. He's not going to have anywhere to run. He will be killed off. That's probably the best fight Denial could have possibly asked for, though it did cost them a buyback of the Brewmaster, and they might lose a little bit more because Padrinho's still on the high ground, still on the hunt. He's going to find McCree, pulling forward, pounce. Shields, coil, not in range. Cryo's not going to get that one out at all. Now Padrinho's looking towards the Abaddon. He's going to have Shadow Dance as backup. Pounce is going to land onto Cryo. Padrino into the Shadow Dance. Form Cryo with no ultimate. He's going to try to commit Sudoku, but that's not going to happen either. Fucking Mad is getting a little bit too close to this fish. 18 stacks of Essence Shift, and he has a free jump to the low ground, but no, Paris blocks it with a nice blink. That was an amazing blink from the Brewmaster.
Well played.
Making it so that Denial don't get completely obliterated by this Slark, but still that team fight was decent enough for BBC for them to be okay with. It was a 4-for-3, and they forced out a buyback from the Brewmaster.
Yeah, they forced out a buyback, a nice bounty of experience going over to fucking Mad, but he's so underwhelming at this point on the bounty hunter that they're not really worried about feeding that over. He picks up his level 13 now, so still doesn't have that level 3 track quite yet, but either way, things still looking good for BBC. Take a look at the metrics. 10,000 net worth lead, 20,000 experience lead going their way. And when you have track on your team, you really don't want a net worth lead on the other team whatsoever, never mind 10k. So as you see, top 3 on the net worth chart held all by BBC. 1,800 gold on Weehaw in addition to his Mask of Madness Maelstrom and the BKB. So it'll be interesting to see what he builds into next. Of course, Butterfly is often a pretty strong choice, but maybe Scotty here, as you mentioned, there is a lack of right click on Denial, and the stats would really help Weehaw tank up and hit pretty hard as well. And the gem still held by BBC at this point, so really nothing of value fed over, and it will actually be the full Mjolnir now for Weehaw completed.
Yeah, this is a glass cannon build if I ever did see one for Wee. This is a point in the game where we could think about just going for pure HP just because he's doing enough damage. Innocent's going to jump forward for Yule Scepter. We'll get silence in response. Assassinate, not quite there. It's gone cooldown because we already used it on fucking Mad, but both Innocent and fucking Mad can drop very low. Shrapnel and the Lightning, obliterate both Cryo. Gonna get swapped back, has his ultimate, but really with permanent headshot, I don't think he can do that much. Paris is going to jump in for a split onto Solitude. We, in the meantime, is Mjolnired up, and he can turn around and fight to the death with BKB. He'll do just that. Matrice has got a 4-staff away. We just going to teleport out of there safe and sound. Nothing can interrupt that, making it a 2-for-1 over in the mid lane. Vengeful Spirit, the casualty. Unfortunately for BBC, that's acceptable for them. Slark is going to look to make this fight continue onwards. CryoJ is going to get jumped by Padrino. The damage from Slark, not the largest, and that will be that Abaddon can get a suicide off. Matrice going to try TP out. That's not going to happen as Slark jams at home. The Brewmaster, the only one to survive. He's going to flee with his tail tucked between his legs. These fights from BBC have been just so scattered, and that's less than ideal when you have a Tidehunter on your team. But you know what? They're so far ahead that it doesn't really matter at this point. How far ahead exactly? 10k plus, 20k plus in experience. It's Roche time for the BBC side. And Sniper didn't even go down there. Denial, they have no items that's going to bring them out of this instantly. They don't even have like a Divine Rapier carrier. It is like Divine Rapier time if they did, but even if they pick one up now, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, that lightning proc way too sweet, killing off 2 heroes and fucking mad energy hero there. With the medallion, they'll bring down this Roche real quick. Aegis on the ground for a moment, picked up by Padrino here. And he'll be able to play even more aggressively than he has. He's gone balls deep a few times on this Abaddon. Very disciplined play from Padrino, knowing when borrowed time is up and not. And he's been able to pretty much kill off the Abaddon, I want to say, almost every time he's died. Meanwhile, bot lane, Hockey and Padrino are going to find out Innocent. And he'll get finished off with an Anchor Smash from Hockey. They should be able to take a tier 1 off this uncontested as well. Solitude rotating in. Weeha sitting mid lane, tracked up. He's got the BKB up still, though. It's 6-second BKB. He'll be able to TP out if he so chooses. Assassinate. Gonna go out onto fucking Mad. That'll do half his HP pool. Even more, in fact. And they will bring down the tier 1 in the bot lane. So Padrino going to be able to regen up now as well. Without any vision from Denial. And they're pretty much choked into their side of the map for the time being. Jump forward from Padrino. He's got the Aegis here. He's going balls deep. There's a miscoil onto Matrice as well as the Aphotic Shield. Jump in. Ravage though onto. They're going to bring down the Venomancer. Magic Missile out onto CryoJ. They'll pop the borrowed time here. A couple right clicks going out into Padrino. Not really too worried about it. They're just right clicking the crap out of this Abaddon. Borrowed time or not. And CryoJ will go down. Nice swap back onto Paris. He'll get the split off, but it'll be a little bit further away. And they will force staff up Padrino to the high ground. He'll survive for now. And they are looking to go into Weeha. He's going to pop the BKB before the Ice Path comes through. He'll turn tail and right-click into the Jakiro. He's going to have to Yules up. Shrapnel out onto fucking Mad. There's the Assassinate. Going to finish him off here. He actually Yules himself up, though. And they'll tick down Weeha. So nice defensive play by fucking Mad. But Padrino is here. The Anchor Smash actually going to miss blindly. As the gem perhaps is on the deck. Yeah, it's actually on fucking Mad. So they don't have sight of him as the Skywrath did go down. But jump forward from Padrino. He's going to miss the pounce. Nice blink back once again by Paris. Good timing on his blink. And fucking Mad chasing down Solitude. He'll just get a track off though. Won't be able to kill him off here. So Ghost Scepter, Yule's combo did keep up fucking Mad. And they do finally feed over the gem to Denial. So small win for Denial there.
Padrino is looking for fucking Mad, using his Shadow Dance just to scout out. Is going to grab the Scotty. Now they know where fucking Mad is once again. They're looking for him. They want him so badly right now. But unfortunately for BBC, Mad is not an absolute garbage tier player. They will not be able to snipe him off with ease, but they will be able to find Cryo. He's going to walk in the wrong neighborhood as the wrong hero. Borrowed time, he's going to need to borrow a lot more, and I think the interest is pretty bad on that. But Junho's charging forward. He's going to debuff everything, and he still has the Aegis. He's actually going to dodge the Venomancer ultimate with Yule Scepter from, I believe, the Bounty Hunter. Now the secondary Ravage refresh. He's going to let Junho lay into 2 more heroes. That's 3 more heroes, maybe even 4. No, Brewmaster's going to have a clean blink out, but it's 44-16. Like, any game where you have this type of score and you could consider a GG call on the 16 side, I don't really know what Denial can do at this point. If it was still I mean 44-16, that's like almost an insurmountable lead no matter what. They don't even have a Spectre and a Medusa and everything else. They're gonna get the split off just in time. Maybe they'll take the Aegis off of Slark, but Slark is actually just taking no damage from this Brewmaster, especially with Anchor Smash coming into backup. Hockey is an immovable juggernaut right now, and well, it's just Padrino waiting for it. It's gonna jump for fucking Mad. He's gonna find himself some safety in the invis. But Hockey, he's going to want to go instead for Paris. This game is just getting a little bit clowny. Padrino, like, he really wants to use the Aegis, but Denial just don't have enough damage to take the Aegis out.
Yeah, Ice Path is going to land on Padrino. He'll pop the Shadow Dance. Macro Power going to drop as well. Borrowed Time does pop for CryoJ. He could lose his Aegis here, and he does. Matrice, though, going to get gushed up. Arcane Bolt will finish him off. Oh, a nice Aphotic Shield to keep up the Venomancer. Ice Path instantly there for Padrino. He'll Dark Pact it and jump to the low ground. But a buyback forced out there from fucking Mad. And they still do have the gem, so it looks like without the Ravage, BBC will look to back off here. But really nothing of value is lost once again. And unfortunately, Paris did slightly range Weehaw in that engagement and wasn't able to kill him off with the assassinate there. Jump forward from Paris. There's a thunderclap. He'll pack it off as well as the track and hop to the high ground. They did ping him out, and they do know he's there. He's going to blink down low, though, and he actually blinks to the other cliff, which is kind of good for him at this point. Fucking Mad not going to scout him out on the high ground where he expects him to be, but he may run into the Apsor here, who will TP out, wisely so. But they are going to pincer in on the Slark here. He will get the Dark Pact off, so he will be able to purge a lot of this away. And he's just way too elusive for this hero, but he will get tracked up. Jump forward. Clap is there as well. He's going to Dark Pact and Shadow Dance. Ice Pass slightly going to whiff. Nice play by Padrino. Will try to leap to the low ground, but the Jakiro will be there. Ravage, though, on 5. There's the Anchor Smash as well. Jump in from Hockey. Padrino will finally go down. Wave of Terror through quite a few, though. Magic Missile out onto Matrice, but Matrice not going to be brought down. Track up onto Solitude here. Hockey is tracked as well, but they are going to look to initiate from the background. Shuriken bouncing between the two. Assassinate not there to kill off fucking Mad. Weehaw and Yapsor are going to turn tail and run, so thus far double kill for Paris. Shrapnel is there, though, and they're going to bring down the Abaddon with the vision from it. Weehaw, nice play from the tree line. Split is down very soon here. They need to be careful on this Brewmaster, and he's going to turn with the BKB. Weehaw pumping into Paris here. Shrapnel is there. The creep's actually going to block up Paris for the time being. He's turning a couple headshot procs. He's going to get drunk and hazed up, though. And with the track, he should be able to clean him up. He does with the Drunken Brawler clit. Fucking Mad, very low. Yapsor not going to be there to finish him off. He does have a Force Staff here. He's going to Ancient Seal up Paris, and he'll bring down the Bounty Hunter with an Arcane Bolt. He may even be able to bring down the Brew. He'll force back. Arcane Bolt is there. He'll blink away. It won't disjoin it, though. That's not a concussive shot, buddy. It's an Arcane Bolt. Blinks forward into it. Yapsor double kill on the Skyrath, and he'll pick up the gem. So that will certainly turn the engagement in BBC's favor.
Yeah, now they actually have some true sight, because BBC have been really adamant about not buying this gem. I guess they were the original purchasers of this gem, and now they have Dust and Sentry on Solitude, so they have answer. Actually, they have 2 gems. Tidehunter has 1 as well. I guess there was 2 gems purchased, so that happened. Denial, that was pretty good for them, I guess. I mean, they were trying to chase forward. They were struggling to kill off a Vengeful Spirit, though. And that is just not supposed to be happening. And that Slark, I was actually surprised that Padrino actually went down there, because that was just like a wild Slark chase. And he constantly had heroes of Denial blinking in front of him just so that they could deny the pounce out. Yeah. If Denial didn't blink exactly where they did, then Slark would have just had a free pass out. And that was him being chased by legitimately all of Denial's heroes. And if he got out of there, that would have been, at the very least, like, so freaking demoralizing for Denial. It's like, we have everyone here, literally our entire team, but we can't kill one guy.
Yeah, and they set up for a beautiful Ravage from Hockey as well. They weren't able to follow it up immediately, but I believe they brought 1 down after that Anchor Smash there, and it may have been Innocent on the Jakiro. Not 100% sure on that, but I believe they brought 1 down in that Ravage, and they were able to stall out for Padrino to survive a little bit longer, and Weehaw to come in and clean up a few. Once again, Creo J on this Abaddon. It's not really, I mean, a testament to his play. It's just he's just been brought down way too quickly most times. Track gonna get purged off here from the Dark Pack. Padrino gonna put some damage into this tower. He'll have the Dark Pack once again, does pop it off, and he will be able to purge off that Ice Path. He still will continue to put some right clicks into these towers. Gonna catch a Mistcoil, but just gonna back off regen up as a Slark tends to do. Jump forward, though. Assassinate is there as well. They'll pick off Innocent easily. He's down for 53 seconds without buyback. AC comes out on Paris, though. He'll TP in with the clap. Dark Pack gonna purge off the track here. He'll Shadow Dance up. Ghost Scepter popped by Matrice. Yule Scepter by fucking Mad as well. Paris is chasing Weehaw. He's tracked up. A few right clicks. They're gonna look to man up. Nice swap back from Solitude. He'll get a Magic Missile off onto Paris, who will split here, and they will be able to bring down Solitude. And there is a BKB TP out attempted by Weehaw. He should be just fine to do so. Solitude going to be able to pounce to the low ground, and is successful in doing so. Hockey going to jump in with a double Ravage, however. Mystic Flare is going to finish off fucking Mad. And Yapsor should be the next to fall here, however. Being chased down by the split. Blink forward by the Brewmaster. A couple more right clicks. Yapsor's going to go down. That's a gem on the deck. Padrino's reinitiated, however. And they did bring down Matrice. TP out from Creo J attempted. Will be just fine to do so. Paris going to be able to blink away from the Anchor Smash, and they will be able to disengage, however. Either way, Padrino finding a couple more kills. 64 and 8 on the Slark. 3k gold in the bank as well. He should be able to bring down this tier 2 with relative ease. No split available, and only the Abaddon Jakiro combo, which, as we've seen, is unable to lock him down to defend this. and he will pick up the last hit on that tower. 3,600 gold on the Sark. Should be able to pick up his MKB fairly soon if that's what he opts for, or complete a Basher, which is probably the more likely choice into the Abyssal there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure BBC are just seeing how many kills they can get on the Slark before this game ends, because these fights are, like, to put it generously for BBC, less than ideal. Like, they start things off just with Padrinho dropping down to low HP, knowing that he's not going to be dying very easily. And then they, like, after everyone's already gone from BBC, like, they all just teleport away or they leave. Then it's suddenly the Tidehunter's turn to jump in with double Ravage onto everyone, double Shiva's, double everything. He, in fact, I believe, jumped in, Ravaged Shiva's Anchor Smash, then refreshed it all. So, I mean, maximum value there for Hockey. But BBC, if they were actually there, they would already have 1, maybe 2 sets of Raxing right now. But, oh no, they're going to catch Cryo. He's actually trapped. He can't move. And Hockey is just going to sit. Oh, he's going to let him out. Come on, Hockey. He can't move out of that. Here comes Padrino and the Assassinate coming in as well. Cryo is going to get interrupted out of that TP, and he's going to be brought down. Now they're chasing forward for Mork. Got some shot going to connect onto Matrice. He's in the Ghost Scepter form, but that's going to be just fine for Skywrath Mage. He's going to annihilate one. Then Padrino. Okay, here we go. Padrino, it's 1 versus 3 right now. Can they do any damage? Actually, Paris is going to go for Hockey. Padrino is actually just being kited, but he's not losing any health, really. He's just going to go leave the base, just, you know, casually taking a dip in the tier 3s. That's 2 kills for BBC. They have the Aegis on the Sniper, who, for some reason, was farming while all that was happening, because why not? Now I think it's time to actually try and end the game.
Yeah, Padrino jumping up to the high ground. He's going to purge off the track here. Will be able to pounce away. Very aggressively jumps up. Weehaw chunking away at Paris from the low ground. Shrapnel. 2 Shrapnels are there. He'll be able to right click him. The Assassinate will be here unless he BKBs it off. Paris going to be able to BKB it. And he will have to waste his... Well, it's already a 5-second BKB, so certainly worth saving his life there. They're going to bait out the Glyph here. No buyback from Matrice. Quite ready. Eul Scepter is there, but jump forward from Padrino and Hockey. They'll pick off Innocent very quickly. TP forward from Paris. He'll get the headshot canceling off the Primal Split, and they'll bring him down there. So MKB for Weehaw. So much value. And fucking Mad will put a Dagon into Yapzor, but he should be brought down on the low ground there. There's a gem onto Hockey, and he's going to be dropped. Assassinate not even going to be there from Weehaw. They'll finish off the ranged racks. A little bit reminiscent of the old Sniper there with those bash procs. And
literally
GG.
perma-stun.
Wow, unbelievable value there. I'm mid saying headshot, I was like, that's not in the game anymore. How the hell is he stunning him? MKB's picked up both by Weehaw and Padrino, and GG called. 2 really convincing games from BBC here, guys. They'll take down in 23 minutes in game 1. They'll take down Denial. Looks like sub 40 minutes ish in game 2. Official time here gonna be popped up 43 minutes. So well played from them both games. Padrino absolute monster in game 2. Weehaw the monster in game 1 for sure. Good play by Hockey as well on the Tidehunter. Can't really say anyone played poorly on Denial, but either way just outclassed here by BBC. Any last thoughts, Mike, on the game?
I would just like everyone to keep in mind that Denial are running with 2 stand-ins.
That's true.
These games are generally not what Denial run, at least the secondary one, definitely not really Denial lineup. So I don't want anyone to say that Denial, oh my god, this trash team, they don't know what they're doing. They're running with heroes or players that they don't ordinarily play with. So you make do with what you got. Yeah,
certainly so. So well played by BBC. They'll be moving on in the JDL Europe Division 1 and 2 playoffs. Not sure exactly who they'll be playing at this point, but I can check the schedule real quick. And yeah, so this was the last of this little series between BBC Denial and DD Dota. So we will have some more coverage coming up soon. I know tomorrow, I believe we have some games. Yeah, nothing tomorrow actually, guys. So happy holidays to all of you from HeflaTV. Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate it. And thank you so much for joining us, guys. We will be back certainly very soon. Boxing Day, Moscow 5 International versus Album Sheet up in Europe 1. And that is the semifinals of those playoffs. So be sure to check that out. But from More H, please, Mike Loris, and all of us at HeflaTV, happy holidays, guys. And thank you for joining us. We'll be seeing you soon.
Later, guys.